All right, let's look at the NPV. I've already introduced this. You need this formula. You want to bring it to the present value. So it works like this. You pick the future value, the cash flow, and you bring it to the present value by multiplying by a discounting factor. Okay? By multiplying by a discounting factor. And that will bring you the present value. Like the example I gave, 1 million is the future value. We want to bring it to the present value. We multiply by the discounting factor. And that gave us 247, if you round it up, 7,000, close to 250,000. Okay? So this is what you do. If you want to bring it to the present value, you look for the discounting factor and we work these ones out. So looking at the formula, you have FV or RT, which is the future value, times the DF. And the DF is what has been broken down is 1 over 1 plus I or R raised to the power N or T. T is the time. Okay. So if you're looking at, if you're looking at a value which is happening in 5 years, T will be 5. Value which is happening in 2 years, T will be 2. Something you are looking to achieve in 10 years, T will be 10. So T is the time. I is the interest rate, okay, or discounting rate. Yeah. So after going through this, you have the formula PV equal to FV, which is the same as the RT, 1 plus I raised to the power T. So if you break it down, is this times the discounting factor. So which one is the discounting factor? Is 1 over 1 plus I raised to the power T. Okay? So it's been simplified. Now, when we add them over a period, if you are looking at a period of 5 years, there will be inflows, there will be outflows, there will be net cash flows. So when we take the difference, there will be net cash flows. So if you pick the net cash flow and multiply by the discounted factor, we do for year 0. So that's the present year. We say the current year is year 0. So we gave you 200,000. Year 0 will still be 200,000, okay, the current year. So if you got 50,000, the value is likely to be 50,000 present year, because that's what you could buy things with 50,000. It won't just change. But year 1 will be a little bit different. It will be discounted because of inflation. If your inflation is not that stable, then it gets that worse. So when we put all these one, year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, all the way, if you are working it over 10 years, all the way to year 10, we will sum them up. So that's what they have here. Summation T starting from 0, future values over the discounted factors, 1 plus I raised to the power T. So we'll keep them in starting from 0. So the first one, we'll pick the current year. What was the future value? Current year, they gave you 500,000. So you put your 500,000 in. You divide by 1 plus I is the current year, so 0. And don't forget, any number raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. Super. So any number raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. So all this raised to the power 0 is equal to 1, according to indices. So all this will go to 1. So we have 500,000. But don't forget, it's your initial cash outlay. So that is outflow. So that would be outflow be negative, represented as negative. Inflow is represented as positive. So you have your first value, which is negative 500. Then you go to year 2. If you are getting net present value of 200,000, you put 200,000 in, you work these ones out, you look for the interest rate. Yeah, the T is 1, you put this one as 1, you work it out, you keep adding. We'll show another example, don't worry. Keep adding. So we'll add all of these ones, and when we put them together, we'll have the net present value. Present value is for just one section of the expenditure. Now, if you're looking at the entire expenditure, then you are looking at net present value. So that's why we use a summation. You see another example for you to understand, but I want you to know how to work these ones out. So imagine, let's assume in year 3, we're expecting net cash flow of about 20,000. What will be the present value? Can you work this? If interest rate is 10%, work this. What will be the present value? Formula is PV equal to 20,000 divided by 1 plus 10% will go 0.1 raised to the power, is a third year raised to the power of 3. So work this one and let me see. So you're expecting 20,000 in year 3. What is the value now? Present value. How much is it worth now? 15,000. Great. Okay, so that's the present value. What 20,000 can do in 3 years is what 15,000 can do now. Okay, so don't be thinking 20,000 can do more than what 15,000 in 3 years can do more than what 15,000 can do now. Quite the same. So you bring it to the present value. And with this understanding, you get to know the true value of your future flows. All right, so great. Those of you who are working these ones out will be good. I've seen questions on this. Let's look at an example here. You have been presented with an investment opportunity, a project that needs an initial cash outlay of $100,000. Our required return is 10%. So this is more like the interest rate. And we expect inflation to remain stable at 4%. So there's a combination, combined effect. They are adding inflation, they are adding the interest rate, all of them put together. The economic life of the project is anticipated over 4 years, so running over 4 years. How do you go about this? So we use our formula, summation. The formula says your future values times a discounting factor, 1 plus. So we have this I plus another bit in the, let's call it R, raised to the power T. So we have T moving from 0 all the way to 3, isn't it? To 3 years. So let's work it out. We start with our initial cash outlay, which is negative. I want everybody to work with us. So we have negative 100,000 over 1 plus, put them together, 0.4 and 0.04 plus 0.1. That'll be 0.14. We start with the initial cash outlay, year 0. So start with year 0. We'll move to year 1 and go to year 2, 3, all the way to year 4, over a period of 4 years, don't forget. So we start the first on year 0. current year, the money was given to you, 100,000, given to you, investment given to you. So that's how much you put into the project. Outflow is going out to negative. So when you work this one out, everything will go one. Then we'll add the other ones. It says, because we are working the NPV, working out the NPV. So year one is 20,000. So we'll do 20,000 over 1 plus 0.14 raised to the power. You could simplify this. What is 1 plus 0.14? It's 1.14, isn't it? Simplify that, make life easy. So this one will go to year one, plus year two is 50,000. 1 plus 0.14 raised to the power 2. Year three is how much? 50,000. 1 plus 0.14 raised to the power 3, plus year four is 25,000. These are net cash flow. Don't forget, we've taken out the expenses from the income. So you have 1 plus 0.14 raised to the power 4. Then you put all of them together, okay? Put all of them together and it will give you the answer. You can also decide to work it out with a table like this. For an exam, you may not have the luxury of time to use the table. So you may have to go with what we did. This, you put all of them together. You may also want to do them separately. You do this, you have your, if it's exam, so it's a race against time. So you need to know that the initial cash outflow is negative. And if you work it out, it will still give you the same amount. This will go to 1. So year 1, year 0 is the same amount, but it's negative. Okay? Then you keep adding the rest. Or you could work these ones out and subtract you subtract your initial cash outlay and it will get you the answer. All right, there you go with the table. So if you're using the table to work these ones out, you work out the discounting factor and multiply by these ones to give you the present value. You add all the present values and that will give you the net present value. But what we are saying is after a period of, you are running this over 4 years, period of 4 years. If it's positive, it means it's good. If it's negative, it does not mean that it's necessarily a bad project. It's telling you need to be careful a little bit. There could be surprises. But if you have other projects and one of them is giving you positive NPV, it means that you have good value, that it's worth the monies that you are likely to receive in the future are worth it. If you bring them back to the present value, you're still getting something that is worthwhile. So that's a green light. Compare them like this example. We have a mining project. We had lots of bigger inflows, but when we worked out the present value, we had negative 1.3 million. There's another one, real estate project, good inflows. When we worked it out, we have positive 1.5 million. There was a project that we were embarking on that was quite imaginary. It was more like a project work, oil and gas, in the oil and gas industry. You know, the monies that we talk about in oil and gas industry, they are big monies. Even when you rent a rig for a day, it could cost you about $1 million for just a day. So imagine renting a rig for like 10 days or 1 month. So we look at big monies. Big monies. So we had to work out. There were a lot of projects that we had to select from. So we took these cash flows and we worked out the NPV. Some were giving us $10 million as NPV. Others were giving us negative $1 million, and we use this method to select. So the higher, the better. The higher, the better. So this is something you can use to select a project. It makes you understand the value of your future cash flow. If you had 1 million in 10 years, what can it do for you now? So we are discounting all the values. After discounting all the values to the present value, to know the true worth of these values, we still had something positive. It means it's good. It means the project is good. The values that it will be churning out will still be good. But when we brought them to the present value, we have something negative. We are having some values, big values, but in terms of worth, they don't carry that much. So be a little bit careful. That's all it does. With the simple payback, we don't look at these ones. So example, the mining is giving us, example here, mining giving us 1.3, real estate project giving us 1.5, bakery giving us 1.8. So here, bakery still wins.